The rumors started fast, too fast. One missed day at school, one whisper in the hallway, and suddenly Riley couldn't walk the halls without hearing her name and the word pregnant in the same sentence. But the truth? It wasn't even her. It was her best friend. And Riley had no idea that silence would cost her everything. Riley walked into school with a big smile on her face, thinking it would be a normal Monday. She had stayed home on Friday to help Kandi with something at the house. But the moment she stepped into the hallway, she felt it, eyes on her. Whispers. Laughter. People turned away when she looked at them. Riley slowed down, confused. She passed a group of girls from her math class, and one of them said loud enough for her to hear, "I heard she's pregnant. That's why she was gone." Riley stopped in her tracks. What? Pregnant? At lunch, it got worse. Some boys from the basketball team looked her up and down, laughing like they knew something. Even her favorite teacher, Miss Grace, looked at her with concern during class. Riley's heart pounded. Where was this coming from? She wasn't even dating anyone. This was insane. By the time the final bell rang, she felt like the whole school was talking behind her back. She wanted to scream, cry, and hide all at the same time. Her phone buzzed with a text from her best friend, Maya. "Can we talk? It's important." After school, they met behind the gym, the one place they always went when things got heavy. Riley looked at her best friend, waiting for answers. But Maya wouldn't meet her eyes. She just kept fiddling with her hands, nervous. Finally, Riley snapped, "Why is everyone saying I'm pregnant?" Maya went silent. Her face turned pale. Then she whispered, "Because someone saw me at the clinic. But they thought it was you." Riley's whole body went still. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. It was Maya. Maya was the one pregnant. And Riley had no idea. The rumors weren't just lies, they were aimed at the wrong person. But what Riley didn't know yet was that staying quiet could cost her everything. Riley stood there frozen, trying to understand what Maya just said. The wind blew gently around them, but inside Riley's chest, it felt like a storm. "You pregnant?" she whispered. Maya nodded slowly, tears already forming in her eyes. "I didn't know what to do," she said. "I was scared. I didn't tell anyone except one girl, Jenna. I thought I could trust her, but she told someone and then it spread." Maya's voice cracked. "But when people didn't know who it was, they just assumed it had to be you." Riley's heart dropped. All this time, people had been whispering, judging, laughing at her. And her best friend had stayed quiet. "Why didn't you tell them the truth?" Riley asked, her voice shaking. Maya looked up, eyes red. "Because I was scared. And because, if people think it's you, they leave me alone. I'm sorry." That hurt more than anything. Maya had let Riley take the blame because it made her life easier. For a moment, Riley just stared at her. All the memories they had, the sleepovers, the secrets, the laughs, they suddenly felt heavy. Like they didn't mean the same anymore. "Do you know who the father is?" Riley finally asked. Maya nodded but didn't say his name. "He doesn't want anyone to know," she whispered. Riley couldn't believe it. Not only had Maya let her be blamed, but she was still protecting the guy who left her in this mess. "This isn't fair," Riley said, wiping her face. "People think it's me. My mom is going to find out. My whole family. And they're going to believe it because I haven't told them anything either." That night, Riley couldn't eat. She sat on her bed with her phone in her hand, thinking about texting Kandi. But what would she even say? "Hey Mom, I'm not pregnant but everyone thinks I am?" It sounded ridiculous. Yet the fear was real. Kandi didn't play with stuff like this. If she even suspected something, she'd be on Riley's case in seconds. At 11 p.m., Riley's phone buzzed again. It was a DM from a random account. Just 2 words, "Heard congrats." Riley felt sick. It was already spreading online. If it reached Kandi before Riley could explain, this was going to blow up like a fire she couldn't put out. And Riley knew one thing for sure. Tomorrow, she couldn't hide anymore. The next morning, Riley barely slept. Her eyes were heavy, and her stomach twisted with dread. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart jumped. She wanted to throw it across the room. But she couldn't. Not now. Not with things spreading like wildfire. Downstairs, Kandi was sipping her morning coffee, scrolling through her iPad. Riley tiptoed past her, trying not to make eye contact. She almost made it out the door, until she heard her mother's voice, sharp and confused. "Riley!" Kandi called. Riley froze. "Come here." Riley turned slowly. "Yes, Mom?" Kandi didn't even look up yet. "Why is the internet saying my daughter is pregnant?" she asked, her tone calm, but cold. That kind of quiet that only happens right before a storm. Riley's heart pounded. What? Kandi turned the iPad toward her. There it was, screenshots of anonymous posts, a blurry picture of Riley from school, and the comments. Looks like Riley's hiding a baby bump. Kandi must be so disappointed. She's just like every other teen celeb kid. Riley felt the heat rise in her chest. She hadn't posted anything. She hadn't said a word. Yet somehow, the whole world had decided she was guilty. It's not true. Riley shouted too fast, too loud. Kandi narrowed her eyes. Then explain it. Riley's lips trembled. It's not me. It's my friend, Maya. But people don't know it's her, so they assumed it was me. Kandi's eyes widened. And you let them? Riley shook her head. I didn't know until yesterday. Kandi stood up, anger bubbling just under her skin. You mean to tell me people have been talking like this for days, and you didn't say anything? Riley, this could ruin your reputation, your future, my reputation. How long were you going to let this go on? Tears rolled down Riley's cheeks. I was scared. I didn't want to throw Maya under the bus. Kandi scoffed. So you let them drag you instead? She walked to the window, breathing heavily, trying to calm down. After a pause, Kandi turned and looked her daughter in the eyes. You need to fix this. Today. Riley nodded, heart pounding. She didn't know how she was going to fix a wildfire. But one thing was clear now. This was bigger than school gossip. This was a war she had to face head-on. Riley stood in the school hallway, her palms sweaty, waiting for Maya. She had sent her a message early that morning. Please. We need to talk. Today. It's getting out of hand. Maya hadn't replied. But now, Riley spotted her by the lockers, eyes low, shoulders hunched like she was carrying a weight too heavy for her age. Maya. Riley rushed over. Maya flinched. I know, she whispered before Riley even said anything. I know it's all messed up. Riley looked around. People think I'm the one who's pregnant, Maya. Do you even know what that's doing to me? To my mom? To my life? Her voice cracked with pain, not anger, just exhaustion. Maya's lips trembled. I didn't mean for that to happen. Riley stared at her. Then why didn't you say something? Maya's voice was barely a whisper. Because I was scared. I didn't want anyone to know. But once the rumor started and people thought it was you, it just felt easier to stay quiet. You're stronger, Riley. You could handle it. That broke something inside Riley. No, I couldn't handle it. Riley snapped. Do you know what it felt like watching my mom's face when she read those comments? Like I had shattered everything she trusted me with. Like I wasn't her little girl anymore. Maya's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I really am. I just didn't want to face what I've done. Riley took a deep breath, looking at her friend, truly looking at her. Maya's face was pale, her eyes sunken, like someone who hadn't slept in weeks. You need to tell the truth, Riley said softly. It's the only way to fix this. Not just for me, for you too. Maya nodded slowly. I will. Later that afternoon, during the last period, Maya pulled their teacher aside. Then she went straight to the guidance counselor. The truth started making its way out, but not before screenshots of Riley crying in the hallway had already gone viral. Too late. Even though Maya had finally confessed, the damage was done. Riley's name was already dragged, her character questioned, her family humiliated. People don't apologize once they believe the worst. They just move on, leaving the mess behind. That night, Kandi sat beside Riley in her bedroom. I saw the video of you crying, she whispered. Baby, you shouldn't have had to go through that. Riley looked down. I just didn't want to betray Maya. Kandi wrapped her arms around her daughter. Loyalty is beautiful. But not when it comes at the cost of your own peace. Outside, the world kept spinning. But inside that room, Riley was starting to feel the weight lift, just a little. But healing? That was going to take time. The next day, everything changed, but not the way Riley hoped. Maya had told the truth. She had gone to the counselor, explained everything, even told the principal that Riley had nothing to do with the pregnancy rumor. But instead of people apologizing to Riley, they turned their anger toward Maya. At lunch, Riley watched it happen. A group of girls whispered loudly near the cafeteria table, all eyes on Maya. One girl pushed past her on purpose, making her tray fall. Food spilled all over Maya's clothes. Laughter erupted like fireworks, but not the happy kind. Riley stood up fast. Stop it, she yelled. Just stop. The room went silent. Maya stood frozen, tears filling her eyes, her cheeks turning bright red. She told the truth, Riley shouted. She's not perfect. None of us are. But you all believed a lie so fast. You judged me without asking. Now you want to judge her too? Is this who we are? The principal heard the commotion and came rushing in, but Riley didn't care. She was tired of pretending, tired of being quiet, tired of holding in her pain just to protect people who didn't even care about the truth. Later, in the counselor's office, Maya sat across from Riley with red, puffy eyes. I didn't think it would be this bad, she whispered. I know, Riley said. I wanted people to forgive you, not hate you. Maya nodded. I don't blame you if you hate me though. Riley looked at her for a long time. I don't know how to feel right now. That night at home, Riley couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about the stares, the gossip, the way everyone had treated her like she was nothing for days. And now, Maya was the new target. It didn't feel like justice. It felt like a cycle, one that never ends. Kandi came in quietly and sat on the edge of the bed. You okay? Riley sighed. I don't want anyone to hurt anymore. Not even Maya. Kandi brushed Riley's hair back gently. That's what makes you strong, baby. You still care, even after everything. Riley looked up. Is that good? It's beautiful, Kandi said. But you need to protect your heart too. For the first time in days, Riley let herself cry. Not because she was weak, but because she was tired of being strong alone. It had been a long, hard week. Riley had lost friends, been judged unfairly, and cried more than she ever had before. But now, something inside her had changed. She wasn't scared anymore. Not rumors. Not gossip. Not speaking up. So when the school announced an open mic session for Student Voices, Riley signed up. The day came. The auditorium was packed. Teachers sat in the back. Students whispered as they walked in. Everyone expected Riley to stay quiet. But she walked up to the microphone, head held high. She took a deep breath. Her hands shook a little. But then she spoke. My name is Riley. And no, I'm not pregnant. A ripple went through the room. People leaned forward in their seats. But for the past week, she continued, you all acted like I was. Like I had done something terrible. Like being a girl with a private life was a crime. She looked around. Her eyes stopped on some of the girls who had laughed at her. Then on Maya, who sat alone in the front row. I lost friends. People whispered in the hall. Some even sent me awful messages. All based on a rumor. A lie. Her voice cracked a little, but she didn't stop. And then Maya told the truth. She was brave. But instead of listening, you all turned on her too. Silence filled the auditorium. We say we care about mental health. About kindness. About honesty. But the moment something messy happens, we judge. We canceled. We are ashamed. We turn our backs. She paused. Well, I'm done being silent. I forgive Maya. I forgive the people who talked behind my back. But I won't let this happen again. To me. Or to anyone else. And with that, she stepped away from the mic. No tears. No apology. Just the truth. For a moment, no one moved. Then, someone clapped. Then another. Then the whole room. People stood up. Some were crying. Maya ran up and hugged Riley tightly, sobbing into her shoulder. Even the principal wiped his eyes. Later, as Riley walked out of school, the air felt different. Lighter. Safer. Kandi waited in the car, watching with proud eyes. How'd it go? She asked as Riley slid into the seat. I said everything I needed to say, Riley replied, smiling softly. And for the first time in a long time, she felt completely free.